Good morning, Coffee Moaners.
Good morning, Coffee Moaners. Lovely to see lots of you here already. Good morning to all.
Well, thank God there's someone here already. Otherwise, we'd be talking to each other, sweetie.
Good morning to our regulars and good morning to anybody new that's joined here. Check out our channel. We do so many things here. We do movie reviews, TV reviews, reality show, cooking show. We do this every morning. We've got travel vlogs, and it's all free. So just hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you a penny, and the notification bell. And today we are going to take you through an hour of the world.
We are, yeah, absolutely.
As I was just saying over on Instagram, though we are going to talk about really heavy stuff, we do always try and put in some light here. We've got funny videos. We have a bit of chat. We love you to get involved and to read out your comments and have that conversation, that ongoing dialogue with you guys. So it's company for the next hour. And a lot of people say at the end of it, they just feel a bit better because they don't feel as mad.
They don't feel like they're on their own.
Yeah,
not as on their own. And also thank you for everyone who joined the No Name Sunday show last night in our members area. It was really nice. We have a politically free zone, which is the members area. We've got a cook along happening this Saturday evening. Nadia and Dina will be cooking up some falafel, some Middle Eastern food. And last night was lovely, chit-chatting, but also remembering Mel Schilling from Married at First Sight. And I've got a very brief clip. I've got lots. I'm not exaggerating. Today, for some reason, somehow, I have approximately 23 video clips.
Wow.
And I'm trying to keep them all in some vague sense of order in my head. So apologies.
I'll tell you guys, you know, you see these kind of shows on television, there's 20, 30 people sorting this out. It's just me and Mark. Yeah. And for Mark to be able to get these, because we like to bring you videos and voices from around the world.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Bear with us.
And a lot of people really enjoying our more satirical take on some of these things, these clips, which we enjoy doing too. So what are we talking about today? And I have a little bit of an announcement for later.
Yes, we have actually. Stay for that. I'm really excited for Mark on this, and I think a lot of you will be as well.
Yeah. So Iran says Trump is negotiating with himself. Literally, Iran are like, we don't understand what you're talking about. You're not talking to us. Donald Trump trying to market manipulate like a nutter, trying to tell the world that he's literally by sheer will trying to say that negotiations are happening. A 15-point peace plan has been handed to the Iranians.
And the Iranians have said, we've not even had a postcard, mate. No, we've had nothing.
No, exactly. We're going to talk in more detail. We did touch on it yesterday, and I uploaded a sub clip from it onto our Instagram. Israel to occupy Lebanon. Lebanon is being pulverized. Lebanon, there was a great as in it was stark statistic last night that Lebanon, in the space of just 3 weeks, Israel have managed to make Lebanon the third highest country in the world with the most displaced population.
And how long has the Iran war been going on?
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah. Okay.
Big distraction, right?
And I also found a story, and we've got lots of clips that pepper around. So just those aren't the only angles on these stories. We have to distill everything down into a title. Sometimes even these titles just don't do justice to the areas and places that will go in our discussion. But something else I also want to talk about is how since 2025, so since 2020, not a single Israeli settler has been charged in any violence, murder, rape, or anything that's been done to Palestinians in the West Bank.
This is a piece in The Guardian today, and it truly is shocking. Yeah.
Dawny Harvey, in the nicest way. I am imitating the doctor. This is Dr. What's his name? Doc. I forget what his name is in Back to the Future. I've gone for crazy here today. So words matter. Anyway, so on this, and we've got a lot, as I say, I often pull up some sort of curious headlines and curious titles. This image just made me chuckle because I found it to use for an Insta story regarding the fact that Donald Trump is negotiating with himself. There he is, negotiating with himself. But no, more seriously, quite literally, Iran are accusing Donald Trump of just talking absolute bullshit. And everywhere he goes, he says we've got a 15-point plan with the Iranians.
This idea that when it was drilled into a little, it's like, who are you talking to? He said, well, I can't tell you because it'll be killed. Well, killed by whom?
Yeah. So I just want to play you. So the first clip I'm going to play
Israel?
is a clip by the Iranian general. And the Iranian general I think, is quite clearly AI. If you look at his eyes, they blink backwards.
Do you think?
Oh yes. Oh yes. But you will have to read because of course he's speaking in Persian.
Why don't we turn off the voice?
So I might turn off the voice, yeah, and I'll read you what he says. So just 1 second. So bear with me 1 second as we just remove it and just add it again. We're having the era of your promises is over. Today the world has two fronts, truth and falsehood, and every freedom-seeking person will not be deceived by the waves of your media. Has the level of your internal conflicts reached the point where you are negotiating with yourselves? There will be no sign of your investments in the region, nor will you see the previous prices of energy and oil until you understand this. Stability in the region is guaranteed by the powerful hand of our armed forces. Stability comes through power. America is trying to gaslight the world and market manipulate by just sheer force of willpower, saying that they're negotiating.
By blatant lies.
I've never come across anything like this.
Do you know what I said to Mark last night? I said, I think what's going to happen is Iran has got to start demanding a regime change in America. Because how can they negotiate with this man?
Yes.
There is no trust, not a shred.
With this man being Trump, not the guy you've
and
just
with
seen.
this administration. You just can't. Because, of course, I mean, they would be stupid, really, wouldn't they, if they believed that there was, you know, a real chance of it all just cooling down and going back to normal. No, this would be about reversing, rebuilding, and coming back in 4 or 5 weeks to do it all again.
Passive Aggressive says, is Trump perhaps manifesting? I know what you mean. He's simply by sheer...
He does do that, doesn't he? He throws stuff out and then hope it comes back to make every in a perfect way for him.
Sheer forcible. So what's part... So his 15-point peace plan that allegedly has been sent to Iran, and there are lots, so it's really important to just tiptoe through some of the details of what is true and what isn't true.
Well, we cannot absolutely know.
No, but we can know some of these things. Yeah. So, for example, Pakistan is offering the opportunity for negotiations to happen in Islamabad. Countries like Egypt and Turkey are active participants in trying to encourage Iran to come to the negotiating table. The whisperings, though, again, we can't ratify this in terms of who said what in Iran, if they've said anything at all, is that they don't want to do business with Witkoff and they don't want to do business with Kashner.
The real estate guy that's planning to build the apartments and the gambling dens on the bones of the Gazans.
Yeah.
Well, how weird they don't want to talk to him.
Or Jared Kushner.
Jared Kushner, who's been selling the land.
Or Tariq Ali calls him Jared Kashner, which I think is a much better name.
How bizarre of them that they don't want to chat to them.
But they do want to, they're more than, well, we don't know that they're more than happy. There's the suggestion that perhaps JD Vance would be a better negotiator. And I think that's quite clever because they're trying to just drive a little bit of a further wedge between Vance and Trump. Anyway, so by sheer force of will, they're trying, so, you know, a 15-point plan might have gone over. It might be Steve Witkoff might be sat, as someone said last night, in a hotel in Islamabad, waiting for someone from Iran to talk to them. They can't, as we played you a clip yesterday, they can't name the person they're talking to in Iran because there's the risk, it runs the risk of Israel taking them out or even Iran taking them out. So, you know, it's... And
some poor chap was named and he's had to come out and say it wasn't me. He's now got a target on his head.
Absolutely.
But just on the JD Vance, now this is me going into Wonderland, okay? So yesterday I said, didn't I, when we were looking for pinholes of light, possibility of hope, and mine was that I had this hope that JD Vance, who we know, who there's been real rumblings, is not keen on this war.
Yeah.
He's far more educated than Trump, but still a vile man. And so I have this like wild dream that behind the scenes he's gathering people that are going to come out and tell the truth about the insider dealing and all of this, and there'll be no other choice than for Trump to be arrested, held up, dragged off. But yesterday there was a teeny little moment, wasn't there, Mark, with who?
Sorry, I had to sort something out.
Stephen Miller.
Yes. Oh,
Right.
yes.
So yesterday, now Stephen Miller is the evil, twisted one that stands behind, the really bored one, going, whose ambition is to get rid of 100 million people out of America, right? He's rabid. He's a rabid, racist, fascist.
Looks like an anal polyp.
He's petrifying, right? And yesterday there was a clip going around of him listening, and the way that he's got really in is he has sucked up to Trump for years. When everyone else left Trump, Stephen Miller was there. Stephen Miller was all the time there, and he's been an architect of a lot of what's happened since, hasn't he, with Trump? So yesterday Trump was wanging on and on and on and on at some place or other about Iran. And some clever person got a shot of Stephen Miller, literally, wasn't he not?
Well, he does what he could. It was.
He was going, and he never cracks, this guy. And I came to bed once and said, this is it, Stephen Miller and J.D. Vance. Okay, it's going to be for terrible reasons, because his expulsion of decent human beings, this dream that he has of clearing out America of anyone of any kind of dissent from anywhere, is being held up. But if they were to pull together, because I think it's going to have to be an overthrow.
Yeah.
It's going to have to be like the Romans.
Yeah. Yeah. The
administration is going to have to turn against it.
Well, here's some rather bad news.
Oh, God, is my dream too far gone?
Yeah. Well,
there's no chance.
There was another vote in the American Parliament to try and stop or halt or prevent or pause or stymie Donald Trump's ability to continue this war, and they failed.
Us here in astonishment that 4 weeks into the most significant conflict in the Middle East, in most of our careers in this body, 12 plus Americans killed, $2 billion at least being spent every day, thousands dead throughout the region. We have still not yet had a single hearing in the United States Senate on the war in Iran. We have not had a debate on a war authorization. We have not had a vote to allow senators to weigh in up or down as to whether they want the United States to be at war again in the Middle East. This is an extraordinary moment, and I know we risk engaging in hyperbole these days, coming down to the floor and naming one moment as extraordinary after another moment. But I don't think we have had a moment like this where the United States has been unquestionably at war with a foreign power, where American soldiers are dying as we speak, and it is being hidden actively from the public by the Congress.
But the thing is, like, if my dream of the overthrow, of people gathering together behind him, whispering, and then they're not going to vote in public. This is going to have to be something that's done in the shadows to save the world.
What, an assassination?
No, not an assassination, an overthrow. Because they'll know the dodgy dealings. There will be people in there that have evidence that could get him impeached.
Project 2025 needs a way for Vance to inherit the MAGA base. What better way than for Vance to appear as the counterpoint?
There you go.
Trump.
MeTube is kind of agreeing with me.
Yeah. Vance, don't say that. Vance and Erica Kirk would be my guess as the strategy at the moment. He will definitely want a woman vice president. Oh my God, the whole thing. I can't bear watching her.
My bones shatter when I watch her.
My knees
You know when
ache.
people say chilled to the bone, my bones shatter.
Oh, please, we can't have her.
No, she is so racist, so white supremacist, the things that she says.
But isn't J.D. Vance just even worse for everyone? I mean, he might not want a global war.
I listened to a documentary about him, a podcast. I think it was Racist Politics US. He is a chameleon. He will change and shift.
Well,
like when
politicians.
he was at university, I heard this brilliant interview with people that he'd been at university with. They were a very tight-knit group of friends. They were like 4 or 5 really close friends, really liberal. One of them was actually trans, right? And they said we would never ever have spoken about him because we are, you know, they were very like decent people, but they said we have to, for the state of the world, we cannot recognize this man. He was like a real liberal, Mark.
No. And he
So
wrote,
I think and remember how
he wrote
anti-Trump
the Hillbilly Elegy. I mean,
Yes,
he's a
got to have some
writer.
brains.
He has got brains.
He's got brains.
He's mates with Lammy, which means nothing. But what it does suggest is that Julie Hilton, happy birthday, sweetie.
Oh, we're singing happy birthday
at the end. Yeah,
Let's
remind
write
us.
that.
So yeah, I mean, look, but my problem with all of them is they're all reptilian, they're all slinky, they all shift and morph their colours.
He's younger. He's got 3 kids, and he is smart. And I've often wondered, you know, is he in there wanting something? Is this his way in to get to be president? And he's going to actually go back to who he was before.
Well, the thing that could get in the way is if Trump tries to destroy him. This is exactly what they want, says Johanna Thomas, for you all to be working out who's the good guys,
There's no good guys.
They're all in it together. Please, people, you're wasting your energy. No, we're not.
There are no good guys, right? There are no good guys, not in the Democrat, nowhere. But what we need at the moment, even if it is somebody for their own ends and their own narcissistic ambitions, we need this war to stop. We need this to stop. And if that is... there's a price, there's a different price paid. But
Vance is funded, isn't he, directly by Palantir, the guy Teal at the top of Palantir. I mean, it's a fucking nightmare.
It's a nightmare.
We are looking at 2 awful consequences. I mean, the future of America and the future of the world is entirely fucked. I think only 2 days ago, isn't America officially, in terms of their debt pile, their annual kind of GDP, aren't they now? They've failed as a business. They're insolvent. Didn't I say yesterday America is officially insolvent? But
you already start to see the videos of the panic buying of the fuel and
well, on that, I want to give everyone a sort of the latest update on the live feed. It was an interim summary of where we are at, so we are up to speed. As I played you a moment ago, Iranian military spokesperson mocked US attempts at ceasefire deal, insisting that America were only negotiating with themselves. Donald Trump still claims that productive negotiations to end the war were ongoing, but Iran relentlessly still bombarding the Gulf states shows no sign of relenting. Kuwaiti airport has been closed this morning. The World Trade Organization has warned that disruptions to international fertilizer supplies caused by the closing of the Strait of Hormuz will cause food scarcity and high prices. A third, whilst it might be a fifth, of the world's gas and oil, liquefied gas, comes through the Strait of Hormuz. A third of all the world's fertilizers come through. So you are looking at the production of food being massively compromised. Oil prices fell again. Asian shares gained as basically Donald Trump is clearly manipulating the markets. Now,
Iran is making so much more money than they were before in the barrel. So this is what this general we listened to yesterday.
Fascinating.
It was fascinating.
It's a money-making opportunity for Iran.
They're making so much money, and they are completely in control at the moment. So why would they just go, oh, okay, let's stop, with the chance of America come back and bash them again?
And the biggest hurdle to peace here is the fact that America, on the 2 occasions they were negotiating with Iran, blew the fucking negotiators up. And I think, as someone said, I did try and pull a quote somewhere. Maybe it's this one here. No, not that one. Someone did say it somewhere. I think one of the Iranian representatives said, "This is spectacularly ridiculous. You have proven, America, that the age-old art of diplomacy is dead.
Totally.
Why would Iran come to any negotiating table now?" And what I'm finding it's almost making me, so when you were asking me earlier, how do I feel? And I do actually feel an increasing sense of despair, is because I'm flabbergasted, staggered, and petrified by the extent to which Donald Trump is not, this has gone beyond gaslighting. It's not manifesting. He's just stating something. And all I can feel is at the same time, he's still ordering more Marines into the area. Iran is not gonna step back from this.
And
Why would Iran step towards the most untrustworthy nation? And the thing about all of this is, look, you've even got Kim Jong-un. Listen to this.
A packed house in Pyongyang, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has a defiant message for President Donald Trump. He says the United States is now resorting to state-sponsored acts of terrorism and aggression. Kim is telling North Korea's parliament the Iran war proves he was right not to give up his nukes. He says the hostile forces wanted us to make a different choice, preaching a payment for our giving up of nuclear weapons. But the present situation clearly proves our nuclear possession is irreversible. Kim never names Iran, but he doesn't have to. His message to Trump is blunt. When diplomacy fails, only brute nuclear force will do.
Oh, my God.
So well done,
Trump, you absolute moron.
And if ever there was a time that Iran would now perhaps have an interest in securing a nuclear bomb, it would be now. I mean, you know, America is still saying to Iran, give up your ballistic missile. It's perverted.
Yeah.
I find it an insult to being to us all as humans.
Because it's all about white supremacy. How many people have we listened to, generals and very like smart commentators, historians saying that they massively underestimate. They just thought the Iranians were stupid. I mean, it just beggars belief.
It
just beggars belief.
No, but
we'll just go there. We'll just take, what was that? What did that general keep saying yesterday that we were listening to that said it's just Looney Tunes? And the whole plan that they've got, the whole military plan is pie in the sky, ridiculous, wasn't he? And then this is on Breaking Points. Catch it if you can, and just broke down what it seems that the military are doing. And some people have actually, the Marines, haven't they, have said, no, we're not going to go in. The Navy, yeah, said we're not going to go in.
The Navy are resistant. I mean, I have to say it.
Because they say it's just going to be, it's like suicide.
I'm with Musical Chimp. I have no bother with Iran having nukes if every other country is allowed. I have much more concern about Israel using a nuke. And this general who was on Breaking Points was saying this, that what he thinks could happen is America will try to put some limited operation of boots on the ground, whether it be on Karg Island or some other absolutely, as he said, meaningless strategic point that doesn't get them anywhere close. He said they're going to get caught in a quagmire. He said, and he characterized the way it would happen. He said, the Americans and the American military, and Pete Smeg's breath, believes they're all going to land there, they're going to fire a few guns, and we're going to win a war. He said, what will happen is they'll land wherever they land in Iran. There'll be no one there. And then just slowly and constantly, drones and missiles will start to come in. He likens what could happen to the possibility of a repeat of Gallipoli in World War I. And then he says, what will happen then is that America will desperately need an off-ramp. There'll be a kind of a way of spuriously characterizing their loss like Vietnam as a win. And at the point that Netanyahu knows he can extract nothing more from the American tank because it's empty, he says it's an almost guaranteed probability that Netanyahu would consider using a tactical nuke.
We've had too many people say that now as well, haven't we?
Yeah. So, you know, I mean, it's absolutely, the whole thing is looking ridiculous. It's stuff, MeTube says, it's stuff like, helium, MRI machines.
MRI, yeah. Thanks for reminding us that.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday. Urea, that sounds weird, needed for diesel cars.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
Where the problems are. Urethra.
No, that's where you wee from.
Yeah.
Urea is the wee.
Yeah, no, I know.
Where did
urine is the wee.
Where did they get the wee from?
But anyway, I mean, all those other kind of oil offshoots and products that are kind of, petrol-like. The whole thing is just ridiculous. Here's Trump reminding us just how ridiculous it all is.
Left. The leaders are all gone. Nobody knows who to talk to. But we're actually talking to the right people, and they want to make a deal so badly. You have no idea how badly they want to make a deal. And we'll see what happens. I want to thank Pete Hegseth. The job you're doing over there is really incredible.
Hang on, let's just hear that again.
No leaders left.
Sorry, there's an issue with...
Leaders are all gone. Nobody knows who to talk to. But we're actually talking to the right people, and they want to make a deal so...
The leaders have all gone.
We don't know who to talk to, but we're talking to the right people. Oh, my God. Forward,
Oh,
reverse,
God.
forward, reverse.
Well, and I tell you what gets me. Does this sort of trouble you, Michu? Is how predictably the markets are following his bullshit.
I know, because they make it, because of the people in power are making the money.
Because they're all just
everybody's making money out of this. It's just normal people that are suffering.
Israel nukes, Pakistan nukes. Here we go. Here's a possible chain reaction, says Michu. Israel nukes Iran. Pakistan nukes Israel. What's IN? India nukes Pakistan. China nukes India.
Lovely.
Fucking
Come on, America. Do something with this maniac you've given the world. Do something.
Tai Chi 500. Trump can contradict himself within the same sentence.
Yes.
Yeah, shocking.
It's like watching a car forward, back, forward.
So look, Chancellor Merz is a hopeless, fucking useless, nasty Zionist stooge, but the president of Germany, who is kind of very much a sort of what's it called when they're just a sort of like the monarch. He doesn't have any power.
Figurehead.
He's a figurehead, but listen to him.
Krieg ist nach meinem Dafürhalten völkerrechtswidrig. Es gibt wenig Zweifel.
There's something going on with, sorry guys, there's something going on with StreamYard today. I'm going to pop it up and I'm going to try and not translate, but read what he's saying. My view, this war is a breach of international law. There's little doubt that the justification for an immediate attack on the US does not hold water. That now seems to be recognized in parts of the American intelligence services as well. Our foreign policy does not become any more convincing simply because we do not recognize a breach of international law. We have already had to grapple with this in the Gaza war, and we must also face it in the war with Iran. This war is also, please forgive me for saying so as someone directly involved, a politically disastrous mistake. What frustrates me most is that this is a truly avoidable and unnecessary. The aim was indeed to stop Iran from developing a nuclear weapon. The nuclear agreement, some of you may remember, had already taken us so much further. We were never as far from Iran acquiring nuclear weapons as we were after the deal was concluded in 2015. The rift is too deep and the trust in American power politics has been lost, not only among our allies, but across the globe. And it's just important to remind ourselves that there are some people in Germany who, in every country, there are people
but the Iranian deal was done by a black man who had dared to get in the White House.
His middle name was Hussein.
So he always says Hussein. He always says it.
Oh no, Barack Hussein Obama.
So there was a brilliant deal in place. Everyone was getting on with it. No.
Yeah.
All the payback for a black man being in the White House.
Yeah. It's just.
Should we have a funny?
Yeah.
Let's have a little break. Should we have a little break, guys?
I do apologize with StreamYard is having some issues with the playing of clips, but which one would you like to go for?
I don't know.
Let's go for the Ring doorbell.
So hang on a minute, let me just set it up.
Hang on, I've just got to remove it as it comes in.
So this woman thinks there's a cat attacking her.
Oh shoot! Oh, this is my jacket. Let me go now.
You know what I love about that? It's dark. No one's there, but she felt like she had to explain. Did you see the way she looked around all the windows? It was my jacket.
Very funny. Very, very funny.
She'd have been cringing for days. Let's have a little look again. It's quite quick.
Oh shoot! Oh, this is my jacket.
Humanitarianly says, I do that all the time. So funny.
Oh my God. Today, one of our daughters came in through a door, jumped at him. He jumped at her. Then I came through another door and then we all jumped. It was so funny. Why is it so funny to make somebody jump out their skin?
I don't know. It's only you. It's only you who finds it that funny.
Because did you get the other clip with the jaws?
Yes, I've got that. Do you want to look at that now?
Play that now.
Let's play that.
So this, right? This is
looks
so
great.
bizarre. Wait a minute, don't play it. This is a movie, an outdoor movie. So everybody's watching in the water, and this is apparently the new thing now: adrenaline rush pastimes, because life has become so boring, because nobody has any risks really. World War III, and so this is something that's really taking off. They sell out every time, so they're watching Jaws in the water in a rubber ring, and there are divers underneath that pull them under.
I love this idea. Where's it from? Yeah.
Imagine.
That'd be great.
Do it again. Show it again.
We watched.
Would anyone go to that?
This is something time.
You would go to that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course I would. It's like when we saw Jaws on the beach in California.
Oh,
just being that
amazing.
close to the sea.
Yeah,
was so
that was
exciting.
amazing. We were right on the beach. We'll
Outdoor
never be in
screening.
America again, unfortunately.
I mean, it doesn't look like we'll ever be in America again. Alan Elliott, thanks for bringing some sobriety to the situation. The late Ayatollah declared there would be no nuclear weapons development as it was against Islamic belief. So it's always been a red herring.
So what did they do?
Yeah.
What did Israel do? Shot him. Got rid of him. Blew him up and blew up his family.
Exactly.
We can't have that, because the whole narrative is the whole world has got to be terrified of Iran and their nuclear weapons, so that I can get the whole world to join in a war to make the greater Israel. That's what's happening.
Okay, this is an incredibly
Lebanon.
evolving live story at the moment. So I just want to read this latest update that's being reported on one of the live feeds. Asian countries are preparing for a return to COVID-era restrictions as the fuel crisis deepens because of the ongoing war. Modi, the Indian Prime Minister, urged people to remain prepared and united. This war has created difficult global conditions, Mr. Modi said, that may persist for a long time. Authorities in India have begun crowd control measures. Asia is on the front line of the crisis, which will be delightful for America. America has a vested interest in as many countries around the world being compromised and weakened. They want to reach their heads above the parapets of being a strong nation again. They want to basically decimate, hobble, and compromise as many countries as possible, and then lean back in as saviors, which, not beat around the bush, is exactly what happened at the end of World War II with Europe. They like being in the position of beating you up, pulverizing you, compromising you, starving you, besieging you, making you weak, and then coming in as the big kind of cowboy on a horse. That's their modus operandus, and that's what they're looking to do here.
In the Philippines, the Prime Minister or President, sorry, I'm not sure which one it is, has just called a state of emergency for the next year.
Pakistan has closed schools for 2 weeks and asked all office workers to work from home. Sri Lanka has declared Wednesday a public holiday because they need a 4-day week to save fuel. Singapore has urged households to cut consumption by using electric vehicles. And in Thailand, officials have been instructed to suspend foreign trips, reduce the use of air conditioning, and use stairs instead of lifts.
Good God. Stairs? We're at that already.
Yeah. Iran has acknowledged half an hour ago, Iran has received a US peace proposal from the US. A senior Iranian official has said. The source told Reuters that Tehran had received the proposal via Pakistan, which has been attempting to mediate the end of the war. The official also says that Turkey was helping to find ways to end the war. This is no new news. This is the same news.
Can
as
I just
yesterday.
ask something? And it might be a really stupid question, but I genuinely don't know.
I love stupid questions.
They
won't be stupid. You never ask stupid questions.
So Pakistan, Philippines, these countries, are they unable? Who do they usually buy their fuel from? Well,
a lot of it comes through the Strait of Hormuz. I mean, I know that Japan and South Korea.
What country do they buy it from?
Well, presumably through the Gulf states. I mean, the Strait of Hormuz is preventing all the Gulf states from getting their oil out.
Because you know what they've done now, which is actually very clever, Iran. They have said you can use it, but you've got to pay for it.
$2 million.
$2 million, so it would add, I think, £20.
It's a good point,
$20 to a barrel.
No bad thing for energy to be rationed. We will make people realise the problem is consumption. Well, that interesting point, actually. I mean, yes, this crisis will speak
but
to
the emissions that have already been put out from all these bombs, God.
Yeah, but it does reach into our flagrant disregard for the amount of stuff we all, and I mean everywhere in the world, uses, overproduces, overconsumes,
buying stupid tat you don't need. All the lessons that we kind of learned, well, many of the lessons that we learned in lockdown, are coming back.
I mean, I think it's interesting. It's interesting to see. I mean, they are having Cobra meetings here about the potentiality for obviously price rises and shortages. We're not encountering that yet. I mean, I'm not entirely sure where all of our oil or gas comes from, but I mean, presumably we have more security, obviously, than many of the Asian countries. But I think Europe, there will come a point where this will affect Europe too. MeTube, in an ideal world, we'd shut off the grid supply to domestic users overnight and force battery use.
Wow.
My 7-year-old grandson, let's read some of your comments. Linda Stevenson, my 7-year-old grandson said yesterday, Grandma, if Donald Trump wants to fight everyone, why doesn't he just wrestle like me and Toby? Oh my God, that's very sweet. Yeah, because he'd lose.
Oh, you remember, should we say hello to
Hello to Celtic Vegan.
Hello, welcome Celtic Vegan.
Yeah. Japan gets 80% of its oil through the Strait of Hormuz, says Joy Duncan.
Right, but some countries are allowed to use the strait as long as you haven't got a US base, right? You can use the help.
Yeah, but we don't know if Japan have had that kind of negotiation yet.
Because presumably these countries will be buying now from Russia and Iran. Because there's plenty there. There's plenty of fuel there, isn't there?
Yeah, I guess so. In South Africa, they're used to load shedding, scheduled power downs and power offs. Okay. I just want to play you. What was that?
You mustn't forget whose birthday it was.
Julie Hilton, isn't it? Julie Hilton. Do you want to jot it down in your phone so we don't forget? I just want to play you this clip. This is amazing. Larry Ellison, don't forget, is the absolute wankwad who funds the IDF. Major supporter of Donald Trump, now owns TikTok, and his son now owns or is about to own Warner Brothers. So, Zionist fuckers own virtually nearly all the means of communication and media
Please
in
hit the
America.
Subscribe button and the like button to help videos like ours and other newsy channels to get out, because wow, the control now.
Yeah, the control is massive. It's massive, and the BBC is useless. I mean, we met. We call our kids BBC kids. We were part of the BBC, an absolutely unforgivably bereft, useless, defunct organization. I mean, the more and more I see, not only what they don't cover, what they do cover, how they cover it, but the way in which they impart their news is so patronizing.
Israel bombs a path to peace was a headline. I think I've got a little.
But they also wear stupid bright colours, and they may as well say through the round window is a genocide. But they wouldn't use the word genocide because no one else. BBC is finished. It's finished.
And on that, some rather cute news on the BBC. The medics documentary, Medics in Gaza, that they cancelled, has been nominated for a BAFTA.
Yeah, you missed out on that one, you wankwads. Okay, this is just great clip. This is Larry Ellison's yacht being not vandalized and not really graffitiized, but what they call decalized. Check this out. These activists attaching a sticker to US billionaire's Larry Ellison's yacht, labeling it a Trump propagandist.
So brave.
They've attached it to his yacht.
Oh, I love that.
Ellison is the co-founder of Oracle, long-time ally. There he is. It's so strange. Has so much work on his face. Friends with Prime Minister Netanyahu, sends money to the IDF, using his control of TikTok to suppress pro-Palestinian voices. And they went very bold, aren't they?
Oh my God, that kind of activism. They're not hurting anyone.
No,
they're putting themselves in real danger. Yeah. Oh, I'm in awe. I'm in awe.
If a barrel of oil gets to $200, what will we be paying per litre in the UK? If the price of oil gets to $200 a litre, the global economy will have sunk very rapidly. It will sink rapidly. The entire system will come under extraordinary pressure, which is why Donald Trump is talking to himself in a mirror, because he needs an off-ramp. None of them thought about this.
But it doesn't suit any country for there to be a total economic global.
It's suiting Iran now.
No, but will it though? But will it?
Well, it's suiting Iran and Russia. He's made it suit Iran.
No, but if it collapses and nobody's got any bloody money, nobody's buying anything.
Well, there is that.
That's what I mean.
I see what you mean. Yeah, well, yeah, but we're starting to nibble back at the idea, which is very sensible. Why don't they just all go back to normal?
Which is what I always say. So why don't we just all go back to zero?
Rather than everyone owing everyone everything, why don't we just reduce it to normal? Okay, well, we want to pivot towards Lebanon now. And I just want to get rid of this.
Do we have a moment of something else?
But we'll have another light moment before we move on. Sorry, I just having to bring them in. Funny. What's this one?
This is funny. It's short, but we can watch it twice.
Okay.
Not my Lord, not my Savior.
They
said, please pray for Donald Trump. I said, I'm not bothering God. My God is busy. He has real problems.
So
I love that. Not my God, not my Savior.
It says on the screen when someone says to pray for this administration.
They're at a football match.
Yeah.
Not my Lord, not my Savior. They said, please pray for Donald Trump. I said, I'm not bothering God. My God is busy. He has real problems.
My God is busy. He has real problems.
I
love him.
Very funny.
Yeah.
I also want to. I think I've deleted it. I also just want to before we go on to Lebanon, I just want to share this story. Gavin Newsom.
Ugh.
Mark Ruffalo posted this. Gavin, know where you stand and stand there. You said what you meant. I don't know what billionaire got in your ear, but it's not working for you. This is not how you're going to win. It's apartheid and it's a genocide. Today, I just want to pull the interview that I did pull in of Gavin Newsom. Listen to this. Now, this guy is potentially the Democratic solution.
He won't make it.
He won't make it.
That's not who the Democrats want.
Yeah, and allegedly, I mean, again, I haven't looked into it from various sources. Did you see there was a story yesterday saying that a number of American Democrats, is it Corey? What's the name of the Corey guy?
Corey.
No, but apparently they're saying that he's ditched AIPAC. They're trying to now. A lot of politicians are beginning to allegedly ditch AIPAC funding or maybe reduce it, remove it. Anyway, this is the big question. This is the big dilemma for the Democrats gaining any purchase in America, is having to ditch their support from the Israelis. And the Israeli AIPAC lobby are extraordinarily efficient at kind of cancelling and removing candidates that don't support Israel. So Gavin Newsom, who's seen as a possible kind of contender for presidency, listen to this interview.
Zionist.
Do I consider myself Zionist?
Yes.
I believe, I revere the state of Israel. I'm proud to support the state of Israel. I deeply, deeply oppose Bibi Netanyahu's leadership, his opposition to the two-state solution, and deeply oppose how he is indulging the far right as it relates to what's going on in the West Bank.
Do you regret using the word apartheid to describe Israel?
I used it, I do in this context, that I said it and I referenced why I used it, a Tom Friedman article in that same sentence where Tom used it in the context of the direction that Bibi is going.
Not the current
and the
state.
concern, correct.
Okay.
And that is a legitimate concern I have that I share with Tom, that direction, if that vision in that direction of the far right that Bibi is indulging, that if they see the full annexation of the West Bank, then that's not something. That's a word you may hear others use.
What the holy mother of fuck? What kind of a word salad
But
is
you know
that?
what's awful?
Is
That's
it
the most extreme I've ever heard any Democrat. He said, I am opposed to Bibi.
Yeah,
they don't
I mean,
say
that's
anything.
easy. That's like saying you're opposed to Beelzebub.
No, it's not easy because nobody says that. Nobody says in the Democratic Party. I mean, I was watching the Young Turks this morning and they were saying, Trump is 7 points underwater, which is massive. And he is bombing out on men, Republicans, young and old. And then they were saying, he goes, in any other situation, we'd say, the Democrats could win anything in this moment. He said, but everybody dislikes the Democrats just as much because they are so tied up in AIPAC. They won't say a word against Israel still. And the progressives, which they can vote for, are far and few between. And even AOC, she's so careful, picks away.
They're always so careful. But everyone is so careful.
I've never, and listen, I'm really pissed off with him, but I've never heard a Democrat say, I'm totally against Bibi Netanyahu.
No, but no, all that was, he said more extreme than that. The point was what he was doing in that interview was climbing down from what he'd said before. So I have heard someone say something stronger. Him.
What did he say before?
He was critical. He called them an apartheid state in another interview. It was a final moment where he actually said it. He was floundering. He was
I'm saying that he reverses, but
total fucking word salad.
Yeah.
And whenever I hear that Trump is going under in any poll, all that means to me, all I translate that as is no elections will be coming.
Yeah, because he won't allow it.
The more guaranteed he is to lose,
as
the
that
less
general
likely there is
said
to
the
be an
other day, he would rather use nukes than go to prison, and those are his two options. Because if they're all saying if they go to the midterms, he'll lose power, won't he, in the Senate and all of that. Well, he's not going to let that happen. No, he's a megalomaniac.
No. Okay, so we've done that. So I'm just going to move over to the story of Lebanon,
which is unbelievable. And as James O'Brien said yesterday, it's disgraceful, shockingly disgraceful that the Western media are not covering this at all. They're allowing themselves the excuse because of Iran. They know what's going on over there, but
Keir Starmer, Yvette Cooper, none of our government have said anything about what has become the third largest displacement of a population in the world. I've not heard them say a thing. In fact, Keir Starmer was in some committee yesterday quibbling over still the idea of whether a law should be brought in to let people know that when they buy dates, whether they're coming from an illegal settlement. Yeah. He has said fuck all about Lebanon. It is an absolute crime against humanity that our government has had nothing to say about this. And I would be interested to know if Yvette Cooper's X account or wherever they always seem to post more freely on X because it's more right-leaning, don't they, than anywhere else. Whether she said anything about Lebanon. Have they in any way cautioned, reached out? Have they dragged an Israeli ambassador into the office like they dragged the Iranian ambassador into the office when Iran was attacked? They dared to engage in self-defense. So our government drags the Iranian representative in. Have they dragged anyone from Israel into 10 Downing Street? Have they called any Israeli official in to hold any kind of fire to the feet of their invasion and declared genocidal intentions in Lebanon? I can't wrap my head around it. So again,
South Lebanon is being emptied of human beings. And we go back to the wonderful line that Israel is the IDF is the most moral army in the world. And you know how they apply that is because they say before we devastate an area, we tell them to leave.
Oh, that's so civilized of you.
So like that people were just displaced. You know, think about what that means. It's just an easy word. It's become an easy word. Thrown out of their homes with nowhere to go. People are going to the north. Some staying with relatives. Some staying in hotels. Some on the streets. And then they come back. And then many coming back because there's nowhere to go. And they bomb them. And there was an interview on The Guardian today with a video. If you want to watch it, guys, with a medic. Saying they're double tapping again, like they did in Gaza.
Well, I've got there's a statement here from Amnesty International headline: Lebanon, Israel must halt attacks on healthcare workers, medical facilities, and first responders, responding to the killings and injuries of dozens of healthcare workers and first responders in Lebanon since 2nd of March. The ambulances, Amnesty International has requested that they cease their military activities. Israel is deploying the same deadly playbook it used in 2024 in Lebanon to kill dozens of health workers, devastate health services. Amnesty International's past research highlighted how the Israeli military repeatedly carried out unlawful attacks on health facilities. The Israeli military has also repeatedly and unlawfully attacked health facilities in Gaza as part of a broader pattern of devastating essential services. There has yet to be any accountability or redress.
Yeah. And simply throwing out accusations that sorry, it's gone.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's gone. Well, I'll read from here. Yeah. So the south of Lebanon is being emptied of its inhabitants by Israeli occupation forces as they use internationally banned weapons. Here we go again, such as white phosphorus. Do you remember Netanyahu tiptoeing over the rubble in Tel Aviv the other day, saying, these people have been using cluster bombs. Yeah, that is a war crime. How dare he? How dare he?
He's a walking fucking war crime.
So white phosphorus, a chemical substance that ignites on contact with oxygen and burns at extremely high temperatures. We've seen the children screaming with the pain of this, causing severe injuries, fires, and long-lasting environmental damage. Israel is also blowing up civilian infrastructure, including bridges, homes, power across the country, hospitals. Have we heard this before? 3 weeks since they started their war on Iran, they have been doing this.
James,
and when was the ceasefire? It was 2024, wasn't it? November 2024, which they broke almost immediately with Lebanon.
James Thompson, there's a name for this, state terrorism, as Kim Jong-un described it. Absolutely. I also just want to remember, the word defense is always used in the legitimizing of a genocide. Hitler used it when he was trying to kind of spuriously suggest there was an invasion of culture and a depletion of Aryan purity and all the rest of it. But look at this. Israel says it will seize parts of southern Lebanon as a defensive buffer.
And listen to this. So the airstrikes have destroyed entire residential buildings. We've heard this before, in the suburbs of Beirut. Densely populated urban environment with multiple members of the same family, often killed together in a single strike. Israel has also targeted over 100 medical sites in Lebanon, killing 40 medics. And this was about 4 or 5 days ago, so it'll be a lot more by now. The same war crimes committed in Gaza are now being committed in Lebanon. And there's not a word, as Mark says, nobody called in.
Not a
word. And let us not forget that medics go in, that they are told this. MPs are told this. They're given this information.
Wes Streeting told us that.
They don't not have this information.
Wes Streeting revealed in the text that went to Peter Mandelson, he revealed that he had heard from medics on the ground that war crimes were being committed. And still this Labour government feels no obligation, is still engaged in what I would call champagne socialist fucking privilege. Walking around, pretending they care. They don't give a flying fuck about anyone.
And just to go back to the rest of his politics with Rory Stewart saying, well, I mean, it just seems to be extraordinary. I mean, the Green Party seem to have they seem to have brought people round on the genocide. So it was grifting on the genocide. No, we're not having it, right? No. We're not having it. Because if the people in power can turn away from this and say nothing. They care nothing for human beings. They care nothing for the planet because all of this is ecocide. It's fucking up our planet. They're using up our points very fast, aren't they?
None of our elected governmental ministers nor prime minister are saying anything about Gaza or Lebanon anymore. Do you remember when they declared we will recognize a Palestinian state? What the motherfucking of hell does that mean? What does that mean?
And just take it back to little human beings, babies, men, women, children as well. But men, women as well. Why we can't, I read something, what's that book that I'm reading? One day all of everything will be, I can't remember anyway. But he says in there, we cannot say anything. We can only say about the children because all the men are terrorists and all the women give birth to terrorists. So you've got the chance up until the baby's about 6, maybe newborn. After that, there's no sympathy, right? Well, I've seen the videos of men, women, children and babies screaming with the agony of white phosphorus that burns through the flesh, then through into the bones. And this was all practiced in Syria as well. This white phosphorus. And he says, Iran, the Muslims are the barbarians and you're burning through flesh into bones.
Just because you wear a fucking tie,
it's
just because you wear a tie and a bomber jacket, you are not civilized, mate.
Labour, shame on you.
Still upon Vine. If Israel gets away with using nukes, the nukes will become conventional weapons like white phosphorus.
Well, it's not yet. White phosphorus isn't conventional yet.
No. I just want to pivot back to this use of this phrase, defensive buffer. If Israel keeps using that phrase for long enough, the only defensive buffer that will be sufficient for this incredibly paranoid, rabid, irrational, psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic nation, the only defensive buffer available to them will be the entire circumference of the globe.
Yeah.
You can't behave like they're behaving in the Middle East and not expect pushback. And that's why they just want to keep expanding, because whoever the next fucking country is they border to, watch out Egypt, watch out Turkey, watch out the Caspian Sea.
We saw the girl yesterday saying we want all of it.
It's
have we got
Canada? So let me just run through the quick headlines. And Canada says condemns Israel's plans to occupy territory in southern Lebanon. At least someone said something. The Canadian government says it strongly condemns Israel's plans to occupy territory in southern Lebanon, adding that Lebanon's sovereignty and territorial integrity must not be violated. These are images of explosions in Beirut, entire buildings coming down. This is footage from Canary, UK, of footage of a building. Look at that, with the heat sort of infrared camera. Complete collapse of entire high rises. I mean, relatives of Nadia work, studied, lived in Beirut, and they are watching.
I loved Beirut so much.
Yeah, they are watching houses and places. It's like watching.
City.
It's like watching parts of London that you know well just disappear, but because it's fucking Beirut,
it's brown people
don't care. People don't care. Our government doesn't.
Have we
care.
got that journalist explaining about where this thoughts and what enables them to do this, because what their philosophy is?
This one, yeah.
No,
Lebanon
the blonde
Guardian.
woman.
Oh,
you had that.
I've got this.
Oh, yeah.
Do you want me to use that? Is that what you mean? No.
No, I meant the blonde woman, the American woman, but that is good. It's a good clip. I think we've paraphrased that other clip. Don't
I don't have it.
don't worry.
Which one am I going for? Sorry, my brain's gone.
Oh, don't worry.
Okay.
We're just.
This is the Gaza playbook being rolled out in Lebanon.
What is it like to be a medical worker trying to do your job in those conditions?
We recorded over 128 attacks on medical facilities by Israel over the past 2 weeks. 40 medical workers killed. There was a lot of people who tried to leave South Lebanon after the evacuation orders, but they went northwards and they didn't find shelter. So they decided to go back home. A couple hours later, they were targeted in airstrikes, and medics went to go get them. As soon as they went out to rescue people, they got struck too. Again and again, we're seeing this pattern of double tap strikes on medics. I asked them, can you do anything to protect yourself? And they said, yeah, we're taking precautions. We're sleeping in ambulances, each one of us parked far away from each other. So if a single strike falls, it doesn't kill all of us at the same time. We're reducing the size of medical teams because we know that they could be targeted by a double tap strike. So better 2 are killed instead of 3. We saw this in Gaza. We saw systematic attempts to degrade the health sector. And I think many of us wanted to think that it was an aberration, that this war of self-defense got out of control. But now we're seeing, and the Israelis are saying openly, that actually, no, this is the new way they want to fight wars, that it's a model.
It's a model.
I wonder if anyone in the Labour
God
Party,
protect us all.
traditionally a party that you would expect to walk into 10
Shame
Downing
on
Street
you.
with a copy
Shame
of
on
the
you.
fucking Guardian
Shame on
under
you.
their fucking arm. I wonder if any of them, by any of their, and I have to say this, utterly compromised aides in the corridors of power in Westminster. Yes, you can blame the ministers. Yes, you can blame the politicians. But it's all those acolytes. It's all those faceless, nameless individuals that do not provide any context, that have come from and are funded by organizations paid for by Zionist sympathizing groups. It's fucked. It's compromised.
So be worried. Be worried. Rory Stewart's and all the like. People seem to be attaching themselves to the Green Party over the genocide. Yep.
Yeah, we really are.
Because they're the only ones. They're the only ones that are saying this is despicable and it's affecting everybody. And it's always the rich that get richer.
Yeah.
Out of these absolute, travesties.
Betty and Teddy are safe. They're home.
Thank you. Yeah, they
Thank you
did
for
get
asking.
home. Thank you.
We're now.
Do you want this?
Yeah, we're gonna.
This is funny. So this is a woman. Well, man and woman. They're being chased by a sheep, which did make me laugh because when I was about 12. This exact same thing happened to me, and it took me back to my exact same terror. But I want afterwards people tell me, what did they think of the fella? Could he have done anything different? Here we go.
Look at me!
They're not gonna get you. They're not gonna get you. They're fucking sheep.
Now, who was more scared? Because he was running ahead of her.
Yeah, that was a bit like that Force Majeure film, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was running over again. They're not going to get you. Well, no, they're more likely to get her than you because you're ahead of her.
Come on. They're not gonna get you.
Proper crying.
They're not gonna get you. They're fucking sheep.
What should she have done? What would stop a sheep chasing you?
Well, I think if you stand still, it would probably run round you.
Yeah, because they don't really want anything.
They haven't got anything. Well, they might butt into you. I mean, they could knock you over. They could knock you over.
And she's going down here.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm just checking.
I wonder why they were running after, because I know why they were running after me, because I had a bag of buns.
Oh, right.
And they wanted my buns.
So 11:15, 20 minutes ago, Israel strikes Russian-Iranian weapons smuggling route. Israel has struck a weapons smuggling route in the Caspian Sea that's facilitated military cooperation between Russia and Iran. First of its kind by Israel. This is why, do you remember when Russia said, don't get involved in the Caspian Sea?
Oh, God.
Most important goal of this. I mean, it tells you just how much. I mean, Israel feels they can fight on 85 different fronts.
I mean, how many
Caspian
fronts
Sea.
can you? Can we just do a little reverse to about, I don't know, about 5 months ago, when the head of the IDF came out and said, we can't do this next bit.
Yeah.
We only have young soldiers. People are exhausted. Where are they at now?
Yeah, where are they? How many of them are there? How many soldiers have they got? It's just ridiculous.
On Radio 4 this morning, they were saying, what's the Middle Eastern correspondent that actually is very fair?
Jeremy Bowen.
Jeremy Bowen was saying, you know, with Iraq, it was 300,000 troops went to Iraq. They're talking about 3,000 here.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Yeah,
and I mean,
it's just an impossibility what they're saying they're going to do with what they've got.
Yeah. Just quickly, this is in the title. No Israel prosecutions for killing Palestinian civilians in occupied West Bank since the start of the decade.
This is so shocking.
This is so shocking. And the story here, again, being run in The Guardian, Israel hasn't prosecuted its citizens for killing Palestinian civilians in the occupied West Bank since 2020. A Guardian analysis of legal data and public records shows creating utter impunity for a campaign of violence.
And so former Prime Minister Ehud Olmert has called for an intervention by the International Criminal Court. Listen to that.
Former Israeli Prime Minister.
To save the Palestinians and Israelis from state-backed settler violence carried out with the complicity and sometimes participation of the police and military. I have decided not only to not remain silent, but to draw the attention of the ICC in The Hague so that they may take enforcement measures and issue arrest warrants. Now, it's not just him. So former Israeli security commanders have demanded urgent action to stop almost daily attacks on Palestinians. In a public letter to the country's current military chief, they warned that failure to tackle, wait for this, Jewish terrorism poses an existential threat. And we're quoting here. This month, Israeli settlers and police have killed 10 Palestinians, at least, civilians, in the occupied West Bank, including brothers aged 5 and 7 and their parents, who were all shot in the head as the family returned from a Ramadan shopping trip. We are no longer talking about a handful of law-breaking hooligans, still quoting here. This is organized activity, which sometimes includes those wearing uniforms who shoot at innocent people and burn the property and homes of civilians. Now, what they're saying here
But just add to this, signatories to the letter also include 5 chiefs of Mossad and Shin Bet intelligence agencies. So, you know, something that we've talked about a lot. We've not shown as many clips as we could have done.
Because they're too awful.
Louis made the documentary.
They're too awful. I can't show them.
The settlers are so rabid. They're so terroristic.
I don't play the videos. You know why I don't play the videos? Because the humiliation that they put the Palestinians through. I don't want to put, it's like another crime against them if you show it. So I'm always oscillating between, I want to show what people are doing, but then I don't want to.
But the part of this that drives me absolutely insane also, and I'm in a mood today, absolutely. But the part of this that drives me insane is that even the Israeli parts of the Israeli media can talk about this. Former members of Mossad and Shin Bet can talk about this. A former Israeli prime minister can talk about the irrationality, the existential danger, the threat, the destabilization of Israeli settler terrorists. And our government says nothing.
Did you see yesterday the politician who was dragged out of their what is it, their government, whatever, was dragged out as he talked about, I don't know if it was actually yesterday, I don't know when it was, but he was dragged out of the place as he had a go at Netanyahu for the killing of all these, innocents. But the point is the existential threat that we're always hearing from Netanyahu to Israel, but it is embedded now in society because you've given a whole group of people complete impunity. We told you yesterday about the Palestinians. There was witnesses there. There was even an American there. We need a white person who saw it. That a man, he was tied around the back, his hands. They tied his testicles with zip wires. They utterly humiliated him sexually in front of his children. They paraded him around the village. They attacked and beat up all the rest of the family. Only one they didn't was a baby, because they hid the baby. Otherwise, it would have happened to the baby. So when all the Palestinians have gone, because that's the plan, isn't it? To wipe them all out so there are no Palestinians. Where is that behavior going to turn to? And it's within their own society. That's what they're saying. This is, I found this totally extraordinary, this story today.
Absolutely. And
heads
also,
of Mossad. I mean, my God.
Astonishing. And it really, I mean, at that point, when you've got the heads of Mossad, Shin Bet, you've got former Prime Minister, that's the moment any journalist worth their soul, anyone in a governmental committee, it's Prime Minister's questions in 20 minutes. And traditionally, no Prime Minister answers a fucking question. It's a pointless, spurious, parliamentary tradition. Get rid of it. It's an absolute waste of time. If I was ever in the House of Commons, I would not care if I broke all the rules. I would be dragged out of there, kicking and screaming by security, screaming, when will you answer a godforsaken question? Yeah. He doesn't. So when all of these people in Israel can say this,
this is an article in The Guardian. Let's see if there's another single paper. It's an incredible story.
But I just want to share this. Chris 33337, Israeli professor Haim Brice-Sheath called it a democratic genocide holocaust. Since most Israelis are involved in it, the Nazis kept it secret from most of their people, which echoes a comment that was made by the actor, the playwright, and the voice artist of the dinosaur in Toy Story, Wallace Shawn, who said, and he's Jewish, he said exactly that. He said that what's more threatening about Israel is that they are proud of what they're doing and they're showing off about it. That's the part of it that staggers and amazes me. And when I say, like I said yesterday at some point, it's more scary than dystopian fictions like The Last of Us and The Walking Dead, where zombies are running around and you've got no way of rationalizing with a zombie. They're just a flesh-eating monster. We're dealing with the very same thing here. And yet the country that shields and protects these rabid settler terrorists is trying to point the finger at everyone else in the world.
And don't forget, they are illegal settlers, not only within international law, but also within Israeli law. I mean...
Okay, so we're going to wrap up. We've been running for an hour and 10. So my announcement, guys...
we've got to say happy birthday to Julie.
Julie Hilton
and then
has
we'll
left the building, but we will. Julie Hilton, happy birthday. Do you want to sing it?
Yeah. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Julie. Happy birthday to you.
Obviously, it's very hard to do that in the middle of quite a serious political chat.
But we can do that. We can dovetail.
Yes. So just to let you know, I am running for the Green Party as a councillor in Croydon and for the May the 7th elections. So I will be campaigning. I will be looking for support. I will be looking for... votes, etc. So there will be, we're going to follow the process of that as well. But yeah, so that starts as of today.
It's his first step to politics, guy, politician.
So,
you've asked for it. Look, brilliant. Wahoo. What do you think, guys?
And I'm meeting with some groups tonight, actually, regarding the whole issue of Palestine. Obviously, there's the whole Zionist, is racism motion that's coming up in the Green Party. So, yeah, it's funny. It's just off the back of even doing our podcast with Zach.
Ophelia said, can I vote from Norway? I said to Mark, there's going to be so many people that are saying now, which isn't often said, they wish they lived in Croydon, so they can vote for you.
Oh, bless.
So who knows?
So there you go.
Maybe one day Mark will be in the Houses of Parliament demanding an answer
Being
to the
dragged,
question.
and I will not forget that at the first, not that I necessarily even have those ambitions at all, but if I was to get in there and it was Prime Minister's questions for you, I will allow myself to be dragged out of the fucking building, kicking and screaming. I can't bear this bullshit anymore.
Yeah.
It's like I said to someone in the Green Party the other day. I said, I can't stomach what we've been made to accept from our politicians. We have been forced to accept non-specific answers about anything.
Yeah.
It's
so many lovely messages here, Mark. And me too. What do you mean? So this confirms my Polanski. What is it you said there? My Polanski strategy.
Or rather, this confirms my theory of the Polanski strategy. Oh, what strategy is that?
So many people really pleased, and this is the first step towards being, possibly, we never know, maybe one day.
Reese Major, and your mark is your life, and the thing is, Mark, is your life is storage, so you have multiple lifetimes to tap into.
Exactly. And so, anybody wants to dig the dirt, he's already said it all.
Exactly. Congratulations, Mark. Oh, bless you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you have my vote. Oh, I think it's amazing. I'm so proud of him because, it is altruistic because, councillors across the country, they work hard. They don't get paid anything. It's truly caring about your community. So I feel a bit emotional because I'm so proud of you. Just putting not your money, putting yourself where your mouth is and wanting to affect change. Now, of course, it's incredibly difficult. We know, and it will start with very small things, but I believe that those...
I'm already going to a reform-heavy neighbourhood to get to door knock.
Yeah, and you're so decent. And you get, so many... I'm not against reform voters. I'm against the reform party that are manipulating people and making them think that their lives are going to become better by hating a certain group of people. That's the problem, isn't it? We don't want division and hate in our communities. We've got enough going on from the maniacs outside of our country. We need to pull together. We need to stop hating and we need to start creating communities. So,
and the really important thing to stress as well is in terms of the Green Party, something else that I do like about the Green Party, and this is something I did discuss with Zach, we discussed it on the podcast, and I've discussed with various other members of the Green Party.
Best news for weeks. So many lovely messages.
Oh, bless you, thank you. Is this not, it's a party that doesn't demand you all agree on everything. So, one can have a stronger opinion on things like what Zionism is, on how to approach things like, the local economy, council tax, all those kind of things. You can, and I think the thing that I like about the Greens is that if you don't have the obvious solution at hand, what you say is, well, we want to discuss it. We want to talk about it. Let's have a think. Part of the problem with politicians is they all feel they have to land, because of their party manifesto, with a fully functioning and working system. And let's look at the system. It's not working in so many ways. I used this line the other day when I was filling out and finalizing the candidature. I said to the guy who's the head of the local party, I said, insanity is doing the same thing again and again and again, expecting a different outcome. And that's what's happened in politics.
Yeah.
That's what's happened in politics.
Mark, if you get a chance to speak in Parliament, you have to do it in Starmer's voice. That's from Katie.
Unlike other voters can get a true sense of who you are and what your beliefs are because of coffee moaning.
Thank you, Laura Nolan.
Thank you very much. Well, guys, thank you so much for all of your...
really, really chuffed. Now, guys, the 28th of March, that's this Saturday, there is a march against the far right, against racism, against all these awful things that are bubbling under all the time, making us all feel less safe. It's going to be celebratory. It's going to be, you can bring families, and let's have a massive turnout, because don't forget how big that turnout was with old Tommy Robinson right up the front showing off, and how much anger and hate there was. So be a part of something. If you want to be a part, if you want your way of resistance, then come out with good heart and believe in your community and march on Saturday. There are multiple different blocks. You know, there's Amnesty International, there's LGBTQI, there are all kinds of different blocks. So you can go to Together Alliance on Instagram and find a group that you would most like to work. And you know what? You make new friends. You know, you talk to people in a way that you know, solidarity is a really powerful thing. And, you know, it's a way to make friends. You never know. Yep. You might find the love of your life.
Exactly. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Obviously, when one posts about this, one has to have all sorts of caveats. So there's all sorts of electoral rules around campaigning. So so you will know and you will see when on Instagram. Do follow me on Instagram, Mark_Adderley. Obviously, there will be updates there coming through.
And follow the Croydon Green Party, because Mark might be popping up there on their Instagram. And can I just say thank you again? I'm just seeing so many wonderful messages, and your support is really, really valuable to us. So if you can also hit the subscribe button, the like button, and tell all your friends about Coffee Moaning. Let's make this community huge.
Take care, guys. Have a good day. Thank you for all your lovely work.